Hey YouTubians, Miss Coop, how y'all doing? I just wanted to get on here and tell you about what I've done. What I have done is effective February the 1st. I went vegan. Not vegetarian, but vegan. And I didn't want to tell you when I did it because I wasn't sure that I would make it this far. Now today is March the 9th, which means that I have been vegan for 38 days. 38 days. And what started the process was I read a book called The 21 Day Revolution, followed by Happy Vegan, followed by watching a video called Earthlings, followed by watching another video called A Diet for a New America. Now, when I went vegan, I had watched a video called Forks Over Knives, and that's what convinced me to go vegetarian when I went vegetarian back in 2000 and I think it was 2012. Maybe it was 2013. I'm not quite sure. I gotta think about that. But I went vegetarian August the 20th of 2013. That's what it was, 2013. It was right after the Zumba convention. And I did it for 10 or 11 months, something like that. And then that April, I had a piece of ham, and honey, that just knocked me off my wagon. So you're probably wondering, why did I decide to go back? I decided to go back to this and to go one step further, which was to go vegan. And what does that mean? That means no meat, no fish, no dairy, no eggs, not even butter. Speaking of butter, I think about on day 2 after I had gone, no, maybe it was probably after about a week, I had a piece of toast with some butter on it. And believe it or not, I got sick on my stomach just putting that butter on my food. And so, of course, I was convinced. It might have been mental. You never know. Miss Coop has been mental occasionally. Now, let me say real quick, as I get a little bit more in this video, you're probably wondering what's going on with the hair. This is how I stretch my hair because, quite frankly, whenever I just, put a thing over my head or, try to put it up or something, it draws up so tight it ain't funny. So this is my way of banding my hair. I've showed you this before. So don't be alarmed, as this is a new hairstyle, because I know it ain't nothing anybody would want to wear. So anyway, I decided to go vegan, and I have to tell you that I am enjoying it a great deal. I didn't think it would be as easy as it was, and I have to say that it was a lot easier this time going around than it was the first time that I went around, because I couldn't quite figure out what to eat. But like I said, I purchased the book 21 Day Revolution. And I read that entire book, which comes with recipes. And so I started using the recipes that they had in there. Now, me with my silly self, one of the things that they want you to do is they want you to go down and clean your kitchen. And when I say clean your kitchen, I mean they want you to get all of the food that you have in there that might relate to fish, dairy, any kind of thing like that. And I'll be honest with you, I did not do that because I do still have people in my family that do like meat. And I'm not the kind of person to sneak. I'm not a sneaker. I don't cheat. I don't cheat. I don't, perhaps maybe that's the wrong word, but I wouldn't slip a piece of meat because in my mind, God knows I'm cheating. If I've made this commitment, somebody's watching. It's God. And so, if I made the commitment, I didn't feel like I would slip back. So I didn't clean my refrigerator out like that. As time passes, my refrigerator will get cleaned out and eventually there'll be no meat in it whatsoever. But right now, there is fish in my refrigerator because that is the one thing that I did revert back to was fish. And I think there might even be some chicken buried way in the back. But I have been making things like vegetables, meals, with some kale and some onions and bell peppers, and believe it or not, I would throw some Great Northern beans on top of that, and it would be a very good and hearty meal. Some of the seasonings that I have rediscovered, cumin, coriander, those are excellent sources of seasoning. Fresh basil are also things that I've really come to enjoy. Oranges for breakfast, I'll have some steel cut oats. If you watch my video from October of 2013, I think it was called Coils and Going Meatless. That was the name of the video. If you watch my video from then, I still eat those foods because I knew that they worked for me and they helped me on my journey as far as eating is concerned. I have discovered burgers. I'm not going to call them hamburgers because ham is meat. I have discovered veggie burgers like quinoa burgers. They're made in the store, but I really like to learn how to make my own because I know when you start mass producing things, you start putting things in there that can make you fat. Speaking of fat, I've dropped 13 pounds since the 1st of February. I was on a challenge with the girls at one of my Zumba classes, and I started out at 171 and I went down to 160, and so I'm just waiting for that scale to pop down to 159. When I see 159 on that bad boy, I'm going to be stoked because I haven't seen 159 in a long time. Anyway, the other thing that, and let me also say, I'm not in this for weight loss. Well, you probably want to know, why did I do this? I did it because I need better health. And one of the things, and this is the only time I'm going to talk about this, diabetes runs in my family. My grandmother had diabetes, and she was a skinny woman. You don't have to be fat to be a diabetic. You do not have to be fat. But one thing I didn't want to do is follow in her footsteps. And so one of the things, as you well know, I have been embarking upon this lifestyle since 2013, and I'm going to make it this time. I am going to make it this time. And you probably say, well, Ms. Coop, what do you eat if you're not eating meat and it don't have any butter? Where's the butter? Look, I'm the first person to tell you, I love me some butter. At least I thought I did. But after watching Earthlings and A Diet for a New America, coupled with watching Forks Over Knives a few years ago, I started thinking this. And listen, when I was pregnant with my son, I remember an older woman telling me, stop all that damn crying. You're going to pass that on to that child. And I thought, she must be out her damn rabbit ass mind. Excuse the expression, but that's who I was then. And, I didn't listen to her. I cried because it was hot. I cried because it was cold. I cried because, I cried. I just cried for no blasted reason at all. I just cried. And come to find out, when my son was born into this world, sorry about that. When my son was born into this world, that boy cried for everything under the sun. Oh my God. And he would never stop. It took him 10 years to get out of that habit of crying for every damn thing under the sun. And now he's a rock. You know, if he crying on the inside, but he don't show it on the outside. Excuse me. But yeah, so when I had my second son, I said, I'm not going to cry. And I tense up and I tell you what I think about you and just exactly where I'm coming from. And who you talking to? You ain't talking to me. Honey, I had some attitude. And let me tell you that little thing, that second thing that came into the world, that my youngest son, ooh, he was hard with the words. When he couldn't talk, he'd bite you. And he would express his emotions in biting. Now, I say all of this to say that animals, when they are being prepared for slaughter, they are tortured. They are not tortured on purpose, but I mean, think about if you were the person that was in those pens and there was a knowingness about, you know, one, how you're living and where you're going. And animals aren't stupid. And you're being prepared for slaughter. Can you imagine yourself saying, please, please don't kill me. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'm worth something in this world. Don't kill me. I kept feeling that. Now, mind you, when they finally get to the point where they're slaughtered, you don't think that they feel pain? They feel pain. And that pain and that torture goes into their meat. And then they process that meat and they send it to your grocery store. And then you take that meat home and you prepare it full of the terror and the horror that that animal may have felt. And you consume the meat. And the next thing you know, you're depressed or sad or something like that. Some of the people in the world may be sensitive to that. And they don't know why they're feeling that way. They don't know why. It's because you ate that meat. Right after you eat a heavy meal with some meat in it, you feel like just passing out. You don't know what the hell is wrong with you. It's that meat. Because I'm going to tell you, you do not experience that eating vegetables. You don't experience it eating grain. You don't experience it. The third night after I had gone vegan, the third night in, I started sleeping. And, you know, Miss Coop, let me tell you right now, I was not sleeping and had not slept in a great long time. I did not sleep. And so for me to be sleeping was amazing. I'm like, whoa, I'm sleeping. What's that all about? And so I thought maybe it might have been a fluke. And so I didn't think much of it. But I did take note of it. It's like, okay, you sleeping. Then the next thing that happened to me was after about a week, after about week 1 and I was going into week 2, I started noticing that my energy went up. I would go into my Zumba class and, normally while I'm teaching a Zumba class, I would feel this tiredness in my legs, this tiredness like, okay, you got to keep going. This is normal. You know what? I discovered that tiredness is not normal. It's not normal. And I would go in there and I would do my Zumba classes and all of a sudden I would be like powered up. So I have more energy now. And you know what? I like that.